Hi, Roger Sadowsky here. I know this may sound simple, but I wanted to go over the basics of restringing your instrument and the features of the Sadowsky Quick Release Bridge. Many years ago, I designed this bridge, which would have quick release sections to make it easy to remove the string without having to pull it all the way through this way. If a player breaks a string in the middle of a gig or in the middle of a session, it's really important he be able to change his string as quickly as possible. That's why I designed the quick release. We're going to start by removing the strings. And one thing I really like to do on any of my basses is put a piece of masking tape here so that when I'm pulling out the string, I don't risk damaging or scratching the finish. So a little piece of tape here is all that's needed. It's also nice to have a string winder, either electric or manual, makes things much easier. So first I'm going to remove the strings. And again, I don't have to remove them all the way, loosen them here, just enough that I can push it through like this, pull it towards the center, and then I can pull it out. Let's do the rest of the strings the same way. This is not my regular string winder, so I'm not as smooth with it as I'm used to. So then I can loosen the strings here. And then I can remove them here. Now, there's a lot of mythology on the internet about not removing all the strings at one time. It's really fine to do that. There should be no issues with a Sadowsky bass with doing this. And again, depending on the time of the year, this is a good time to clean your fingerboard. One thing I want to point out is the Sadowsky adjuster nut is not glued in. So when you are removing the strings, if you're not thinking about it, it's easy to lose the nut. So always take the nut out and put it in a little container where you won't lose it. Okay, so now to put new strings on, you want to put it in the center hole and then move it over to the side. Let me do that again so you can see clearly. Put it in the center hole and then push it to either the right or the left, depending on which string you're going to do. The B and the E shares one slot. The D and the A share another slot, and the G string has one all by itself. Next important thing is how long do we want to cut the string? It's important to have enough windings around the post. So my rule of thumb is I like to cut the string 3 tuners beyond the one it's going to go in. So you need a good wire cutter. And I cut this one here. I cut the next one. Here it's going in here. So 1, 2, 3. This one is going here. So you almost have to imagine where the other tuners are. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And for here, right about there. And now I'm ready to install the strings. First, I have to put my adjuster nut back in. And so we'll start with the low B string. We'll insert it into the hole and make a bend. Now, one mistake some people will want to do is they'll want to, with their hand, wrap the string this way. And that is really bad for the string. It twists the string. And I don't recommend doing that. What you want to do from this point on, and I won't use the string winder, you want to just start winding, and you don't want to wind above the string, you always want to wind below the string. So you want the string to finish off as low to the bottom of the post as possible. And you can see from how long this is taking, that's why it's really good to have a string winder. And now it will take mine. So you see I have a nice wrap starting at the top and ending at the bottom of the post. And now we'll do that for all the other strings. And you also, like here, want to make sure the string is properly set in the groove at the saddle. Now with the string retainer, I don't really like to get it in place until I have more wrap on the post. So now you see here, you want to make sure the string is not going to get caught on the horn. And then it's in place in the proper slot on the string retainer. Next string. And finally the G string, which goes the other direction. Put a little bend in it and then start winding. And again, I want you to see how the windings go as close to the bottom of the post as possible, and that gives a good angle between the nut and the tuning machine. Once again, I'm checking here, make sure all the strings are in the slot. And then the next thing you want to do is get your tuner and tune it completely to pitch. I like to stretch out new strings this way by pulling up on it. And then I'll tune again, and then I'll stretch them out one more time and do a final tuning. I hope this helps. I hope you understand the simplicity of the quick release bridge and how I like to approach restringing. Until next time, this is Roger Sadowsky.